And welcome back to Season 3 of The Elite Show, The Mob, The Mafia, and The Man. John has changed his life. Yes, he did. And we're here with the interrupter, or the what's the
cutter-in-chief, they call me.
The cutter-in-chief, Michael Dowd.
Yes,
and
nice to be back.
And our special guest today is Dominick Fiori. Dominick, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me here. It means a lot.
Now, John, we've got somebody in the studio that's a little bit bigger than you, a little bit more muscular than you.
Yeah, well, he's some shape. Hey, tell us a little bit, for the people who don't know about you, tell a little bit of your history and about how hard you work and things like that.
Absolutely. So, all right. I always grew up playing sports my whole life. I always thought to myself,
What was your favorite sport?
baseball. I wanted to be like Derek Jeter.
Oh,
man.
shit.
I wanted to be
Baseball.
like Derek Jeter.
Everybody, we got to get some football players. Well, we did have football players.
Yeah.
We had Lee.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Go ahead. How'd
Yeah.
that turn out, though? Really? How'd you do? Did you go anywhere with it?
I mean, I kind of found my own victories. I got a little bit of trophies. I'm cool, you know.
Did you play high school, college?
I played in high school.
Okay.
I played in high school. You know, I always thought, all right, if I'm smart, I'll get good grades. I'm going to grow up. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'll be successful. So for my mom, she didn't want me working out. You know, she said that it would stunt my growth. I was 14 years old. Baseball practice, 5 o'clock. Games at 6.
How tall were you?
6'4".
Well,
6'4".
okay.
Well,
Imagine if you didn't work out.
Yeah.
Imagine if you didn't work out.
But you know the old. So how
Right.
old are you, Dominick?
I just turned 35.
You're 35, so you're right on the cusp. When I was a kid, parents didn't want you working out. They
Right.
did not want you in the gym because it was going to stunt your growth. The new way of thinking is as long as you work them out properly. That's not really the case.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So baseball, you're in baseball, high school. Did
I'm in
you
baseball.
pitch? Did you hit? What'd you do?
Shortstop and third base.
Okay.
So, like right from there, school would end 2 o'clock. I would hurry up and do all my homework real quick, and then the gym teachers would always open up the gym, and I would sneak into the gym and start working out right before baseball every day.
So you even you had the baseball thing going on, and then you went after and worked out.
I worked out before.
Oh,
and then I would go and play
before baseball.
Yes.
Okay. How was it to
Yes.
swing a bat when you're all jacked up like that? I mean, that's got to be tough.
Nah, I mean, like when you're a kid, you're in the gym,
Yeah,
you don't know what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do a little bit of this. It didn't really.
It's how
impact
much
it.
you can bench, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got the chest for it. It looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't
Right.
tell you.
So the greatest story I ever tell, and I get my young son in the gym with me all the time. He's always concerned about how much he can bench. I said, so what are you working out for, aside from football? Loves working out for football. And he's like, get the girls. I said, when's the last time a girl asked you how much you can bench? So that's a young kid thing, how much you can bench.
Exactly. It's kind of like if you pull up in a Corvette, right? You're gonna get more compliments from dudes. You know, at the end of the day, that's just what it is.
But the Lamborghini,
Well, no, then the girls just say you got a small penis. That's what it is.
I did have a Corvette, so.
Well, I don't want to say nothing, Mike.
Well, I don't do it with my penis. I didn't have a Lamborghini. So Dominick, go ahead. So you're
You know, so I'm in here sneaking in my workouts, everything else, and my passion for baseball just kind of shifted because I didn't know like what purpose working out served in my life, but it just felt so good. I was like, I need this. Once again, 14-year-old myself, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna get girls. Right, my 15th birthday in November, $25 gift card to Barnes & Noble. I buy Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding encyclopedia, reading through it, looking at all the pictures, putting my own workouts together. Winter break happens.
I just introduced my son to that book because I bought it about the same age that you bought it.
Yeah.
And it's a great starter.
Absolutely.
For somebody going into workout because it teaches you proper form, proper technique. And as a kid, there's so much more. It's like playing ball. It's like playing baseball. When you guys all played baseball as kids, yeah, baseball was fun, but playing on that team taught you so much more. Well, going into the gym as a young man taught you so much more because probably at the time things were changing a little bit. But I remember first time stepping in the gym. If you didn't rack your weights, you got embarrassed and then thrown out of the gym.
Yep. For my second day working out, I'm in a tank top, and someone's like, "Hey, man, if you're gonna wear that, you better have some muscles." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm covering up. You know, it's a different generation today. Everyone's in tank tops, obviously, but you were scared to go to the gym. Some of the people that you saw, it
was intimidating.
Yes. When someone said, "Hey, I want you to work out with me," you're not gonna tell them no because you don't want to disrespect them. But you need to keep up with them. So it forces you to push yourself and step your game up.
So at 14 years old, Dominick you're like mentally astute and driven to get involved. Like,
How many hours a day would you work out at that young age?
How many hours a day? I would go as long as I could. I would probably from like 2:30 up until the time of practice until like 5 o'clock, just doing everything and anything.
yeah,
It's a little different now, though.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
but what I saw is the way he described it is the drive he had, and like he actually thought about getting a book. I never would think about getting a book to work out. I would just go look at the weight pile and start doing something with the weights. But for a guy at 14 years old to think about getting a book, and in fact, an Arnold Schwarzenegger book, that's like, I mean, it's not just a happenstance that he's in damn good shape. And at 35, by the way, is not a young man anymore. I mean, he's young compared to this crew here, but competitive bodybuilding, 35. I don't know if that's.
Wait a second. He is only 12 years older than me, Mike. You need to rephrase that. Or 12 years younger than me. I'm sorry.
Well, he looks.
I'm not old like you guys.
I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna go sit in the corner again. Although I did more pull-ups than most people in this room. I'll tell you right now. All right, that's a guarantee. I'm guaranteeing it. All right. For 12 years, I pulled up every day, 12 sets of pull-ups every day.
But
Right.
14 to 16 in the set.
But the gym for a young kid is so much fun. Like, and that's what I teach my son. My son goes with me in the morning. And when I was a kid going in the gym, I went in the gym when I was about 13 years old, and I had nicknames. I never knew their names, but I had nicknames for everybody. Like, what if this guy was Popeye, this guy was Big John, couldn't tell you their names. And you're gonna remember those names for the rest of your life.
Right.
And just be careful. I saw a guy that I hadn't seen in 30 years. We used to call him Homie. Right? I don't know what his name was. I see him 30 years later in the gym. I'm like, hey, homie, what's up? He goes, no, my name's Howie. I was like, sorry, buddy.
So you're 15 and you're getting the girls? I mean, what's going on?
No. So just to touch upon your point, that right there was the younger mentality. I'm gonna get big. I'm gonna get girls. At the time, like there was no Instagram or any social media.
Right.
So the way I would go and measure my success is I would put on a T-shirt, take a picture of a Polaroid. I would go hang that T-shirt up in the closet, and then I would go try that T-shirt on again 2-3 months later. Winter break happens for school, right? I went 3 to 4 weeks without working out, right? Because like the school gym was closed, everything else, and I was like, man, I feel like shit. I feel off. I was like, I'm not doing this for the girls. The girls were the extrinsic motivation.
Right.
I'm doing this for myself and for my well being. And then I guess like from there, I was good at baseball, but my passion was now bodybuilding, and I went from wanting to be like Derek Jeter, my hero growing up in New York,
sure.
to having a swing like Ken Griffey Jr., to wanting to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
At some point, yeah.
Wow. But really, more importantly, and I think the message that you sent out was it was good for you. Never mind how big you were getting, how handsome you will look, whatever you want to call the look. You found that being away from it screwed with your head a little bit, or you just didn't feel right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're growing up in the gym. You're basically growing up in the gym.
Yes.
Did you find that it kept you more on the straight and narrow? Because, hey, if you abuse yourself outside of the gym, you're not going to have a good workout.
Absolutely. I would give up a social life on Friday nights just to go and work out. One of my best friends, he took a different school bus from me, but it was closer to the gym that I would go. It was like about 5 miles closer. So at the time, like if I took the school bus home, once baseball season was over, then I would have to take a taxi cab, $12 ride. I would go and take his bus home. He's like, dude, you can't come over. We're going out to Brooklyn. I said, dude, don't worry, I'm not going over. I was just cool like with his bus driver. I would get off the bus. I would walk a mile to the gym, call my mom at work. Hey, can you come pick me up? Like once you get out, she's like, honey, I'm not out until 6 p.m. It's 3 p.m. I'm like, all right, perfect. Work out for 3 hours. So I'd given up like plenty of social life on Friday night, which at that time it was drinking beer, stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, if you have a nice car, you don't put bad gasoline in the car. And I'm like, you got a Corvette.
But it amazes me what he's saying here, because the ability and the awareness at such a young age. I mean, he's from Howard Beach. In Howard Beach, I'm not saying the guys don't work out, but that's not the first thing on their mind. The first thing on their mind is getting laid or getting cash. I mean, for real. I mean, that's the way. At least that's what I know of the guys from Howard Beach, earning money, whether it's slinging something or getting a real job or getting laid. And his priority was putting good fuel in his body by working. Did you diet properly, or you just diet haphazardly?
I mean, I made positive decisions, but then at the same time, it was, I work out. I could eat whatever I want. All right, let me go to Applebee's after 10 o'clock for half off appetizers,
Right. Well, the problem with that is there's a theory out there that says if the furnace gets hot enough, it'll burn anything. But
Right.
that's not the case.
Correct.
When I was growing up, bodybuilders, the bodybuilding community, you got to eat 6 times a day. Mm-hmm. They're finding that that's not exactly true right now. It's not exactly true to make the proper gains. Yes, you have to keep your muscles fueled and everything. What was your diet like when you first started?
So when I first started, I was like, I'm natural. I'm going to stay natural. I'm not even going to touch this whey protein. I'm going to eat some chicken. Fortunately, I really hated it at the time. I would talk to my friends, and everyone was getting like pasta for dinner. My mom, she wasn't the best cook in the world, so I would eat the plain salmon, like with the skin on it. I would just eat broccoli raw, kind of like an apple, just bite it. So I did have that. And then once I got my driver's license, that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to eat my mom's dinner, but then I'm going to go over to Taco Bell.
Something tasty.
Yeah.
Tasty.
I'm going to go get the slice of pizza.
Yeah, it's funny he mentioned that, because it brings me to the point where when I was in prison, and it's always
Training camp.
Yeah, well,
training
it's
camp.
hard to get the best nutrition, but what we did, many of us, is we loaded up on like tuna, because that's really was the cheapest thing you can get, and it was available, and it's high in protein, but the way you said it, you ate like you just bite an apple, or you ate some broccoli, or you just ate the fish that was skinned, it had the skin still on it. It seemed like you were just fueling the beast rather than enjoying the food.
Exactly.
Is that, yeah? So
exactly.
Yeah, and I recall doing that in the joint, because, I mean, I didn't want to. I mean, I got lean as I got so lean. I was actually. I wasn't big. I'm 17 and a half inch arms on a 31-inch waist. That's a big guy. My back being probably 44, 46, inches. But not that I'm measuring off here with inches. But my point is that you found a way to fuel yourself, and then you didn't have the flavoring. So I went through that period in the joint where that's what I did. I just ate tuna right out of the can. I mean,
you know it better than anybody, Mike. So food, quickly, for a lot of people, food is pleasure.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, that's...
When you're in the joint, or when you're doing the stuff that you're doing, Dominic, food is no longer pleasure. Food is fuel.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's what you're utilizing it for. You made it... You thought of it as a bodybuilding. You didn't want to waste calories. And then, yet, at 16, 17, 18 years old, this is your mindset.
Right. So, I actually went to college for 3 years. My dad had passed. I didn't have a cosigner for student loans, and then I wanted to go NYPD, but then what happened was I had owed my school money, so they wouldn't give me my transcript. I didn't look qualified. Like, I had my 60 college credits. My dad always told me not to join the military because it's a time of war, bad time to go. But once he was gone, I was like, fuck it. There's nobody holding me back. I went and joined.
Oh.
I met some good friends.
What year? What year did you join?
I joined 2009.
Oh, you right in the
2009.
middle, dead square in the middle.
Yeah.
That was thankfully.
Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2008. Yeah.
And did you deploy?
I deployed in 2013 out to IUD Qatar. Pretty easy assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still when you're not sleeping in your own bed, it's never
Well,
easy.
what's interesting about that is that we were involved, and yet a big monster like this. You might have used him on the front.
Yeah.
They put him in Qatar. What were you doing in Qatar? Palm trees and Qataris?
Nah, I was just doing my job. 24-hour gyms, 24-hour chow halls. So my day off, I'm like, man, this feels like forever. I'm just gonna go into work. So as you work every day, right? 28 days in a row. It's like, all right, it's only been a week, but really 1 month gone by. Yeah, just a time.
But how was Qatar itself? I mean, so for people that never been to, and that's in the Arabian Peninsula, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I get off the airplane. I just see people running. I'm like, wow, people are really into health and fitness over here, right? No, because our trailers are on one side, but then all the bathrooms are on the other. So yeah.
And is that a cultural thing? I mean, I don't.
No, it's just the way that it was set up. But you would see stuff that was common that like you're not really accustomed to. Like what they tell you right before you go, hey, you may want to get some sunglasses. You're like, nah, I don't need sunglasses. I'm good. You get there, you're like, oh man, I definitely need some sunglasses.
Wow, yeah, that's a lesson.
Yeah.
That reminds me. So we got the speaking of sunglasses, the John Elite
Right
limited editions from Private Eyewear.
Right on.
Just go on johnelite.com. You can order them up. But there's certain rules, especially. What I learned is you never go in a bathroom after a bodybuilder because the stuff that you put in your body does not come out smelling so great.
Wow. Ooh,
it's brutal.
That's quite the plug. There.
It's brutal. So you're going in porta-johns over there.
No, I mean,
did they have the whole bathroom set up?
They actually did have some of those. Yeah, they had a bathroom set up. Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't too bad anyway.
I mean, it was kind of like, I mean, if I'm taking a piss, I'm good. But if I'm doing number 2, I'm gonna squat right over the toilet, then I'm gonna run to the other side before that water splashes me.
Man,
was it like that in prison? Was it like in prison?
no, I mean, I just hit my ass with the water. I didn't care. I just flushed it. It was a rinso.
We've gone down a really bad turn.
Yeah.
But how did you get your nutrition over there?
So, all right. So it was like when I first joined, I wasn't deployed. I met someone. He's like, hey, dude, you should do the show with me. It's in 3 months. I'm like, man, you want me to do in 3 months what I've been trying to do like in like 8-9 years. I thought that a certain appearance was all genetics. I was like, I just don't have it. He's like, yeah, it's all diet. He goes out, he gives me this diet. To me, it was easy. I'm like, I've been eating this shit my entire life. So like the stuff that I didn't like the sweet potatoes, like on the days that I did get to eat them, I'm like, every time I eat it, it tastes like candy, So, but for me, ultimately, right, I went in without any standards, without any expectations. My first show, I didn't know what I was doing. I came in 4th out of 7. I was happy. I accomplished something I didn't think I could.
You did the show. You stood on a stage, right? Was it a stage?
Yeah.
Was it people in the audience? Was it an audience?
Yeah.
So was it a military organization?
No. It was civilian.
In the street? Wait, in Qatar or here?
No. I was stationed in D.C. at the time, so I did it out in Woodbridge, Virginia. Through the NGA.
And there's nothing as humbling as stepping on stage in those shorts. You're out there for the world to see. If you got an imperfection in your body, you got a pimple on your belly, it's going to show.
Anything, yeah. So for me, like, was I nervous? Hell yeah, but I didn't want to go and give off that appearance. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to wear purple. I'm going to wear purple posing trunks. I'm going to go smile. I'm going to be happy to be there. I'm going to be excited. I went in without any standards and expectations, and I went and I had fun. I did 9 shows current to date, and I had noticed like every show I got harder and harder and harder on myself, and then it really went and took away the enjoyment. So just recently, within like the past 5 years, I learned to once again have fun, drop expectations, because you don't want to be overly hard and critical on yourself, because then it takes the enjoyment out of it, and then you're actually doing something that's healthy. So you don't want to go and revert the opposite way. And being from New York, it's like it's so much easier. Like whenever it snows, to say, oh, fuck this, I'm getting pizza, instead of, hey, this gym is closed over here, let me call around and see who's open, what time are they staying open until, right, my car is rear-wheel drive, maybe I can take an Uber there.
Well, that's why cops get fat, right, Mike? I mean, what's open 24 hours? Everybody donuts and coffee for a cop, but what's open 24 hours?
Donuts and
coffee, and you see
you got the pizza though. I'm big on pizza. I was big on pizza and Chinese,
but which isn't the
quick
best stuff.
Street food,
right? Quick street food.
Yeah,
whatever you can do to fill that void in there, and it becomes a very unhealthy lifestyle. Being where you are in New York, it's the same thing. So
Correct.
you have to make those healthy choices.
Correct. So I guess for the analogy I like to give, Bruce Lee, right? Like with his martial arts, like find your rhythm and use your atmosphere as your weapon. I do the same thing. So I could literally not meal prep, but I know, all right, hey, where's the nearest supermarket? All right, this spot right here has instant jasmine rice. This spot has packets of tuna. okay, there's a vitamin shop or a GNC. I could get a protein shake, maybe a bag of Quest chips. So I tend to do that. When I'm at work in my office, I'll stock it up like with dry foods, such as packets of tuna, oatmeal. It's very easy to go out and find a microwave, add some water.
So further so your career in the military, you go to basic training.
Yeah.
Did you excel at basic training? You were in great shape.
I was in great shape, but I was in great shape for like lifting weights, not so much like running, calisthenics, push-ups, and sit-ups. It was different. And then
that's why I asked that question.
I felt as if I couldn't be myself because I wasn't in the gym. But then I told myself, you know what? It's the military. I'm supposed to hate it anyway. Fuck it. There's people who didn't even go to the gym who are struggling. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But so in a way, what you thought was going to be an asset was a detriment because you're so big. It was hard to do push-ups, sit-ups. I mean,
correct.
In a way that's that they want you to perform.
Correct.
It's a different type of muscle use.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
All right, because when I went to the police academy, I was in pretty good shape.
Right.
Muscularly. I thought I was in pretty good shape until you're holding your arms up for hours. Or you're in the lean and rest for hours.
Oh my
All of a
God.
sudden, you realize real quick that what I thought was in good shape is not really good shape.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. Those arm circles. Oh my
Oh,
God.
they're awful.
Oh
Exactly.
my God.
Awful.
I did arm circles for about an hour one time in the police academy, and this guy didn't stop. He just the
drill.
The drill sergeant. They didn't stop. I'm like, is this guy crazy?
My drill was a force recon Marine. He could stay in the lean and rest for like 2 days. And he smoked 5 packs of cigarettes a day and still ran a 5-minute mile. So it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. Did you find that where you thought you went into the military good shape and all of a sudden?
I mean, it's not that. I think that it was more so like a mindset thing, right? Like if you put your mind to it, like you will persevere. You know. So like I went in and my family didn't really come from much. I told my mom like when my graduation.
Oh, you don't have privilege?
No.
No. Okay. There's no privilege going down over there in Howard Beach. I'm sorry.
No. So I had told my mom, all right.
Are you? We never clarified. Are you one of two? One of one? Are you an only child? Just.
Oh, I do have a younger sister. She lives out in San Diego at the moment. Yeah. So I had lost my train of thought. Oh no, here's what I was getting at. No, it's all good. I told my mom, hey, this is my graduation date, right? She bought her plane tickets and then reserved a hotel. So right from there, week 1, basic training, I told myself, no matter what, I'm fucking graduating, and I'm graduating on time. Because if I get washed back a week or two, you know, it throws everything off.
Yeah. And your mom already booked the hotel.
Right.
Now you're coming from the family that you came from where your dad never wanted you to go in the military. How did your mom feel when she saw you up there graduating?
She cried, but you know, she's kind of dramatic. She would cry at everything. So like,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Give her props, man. She's
no,
got a heart
I
like that.
I know. So it is like what I expected.
Yeah. Now you get out. Now you get into some serious training. You get out of basic training.
Yes. So we get out of basic training. We go to tech school. So I actually initially had a certain career field. Week 3 of basic training, Air Force Honor Guard came in. Right, everybody's mean as shit to you in basic training. These guys come in really nice, sharp uniforms, spinning weapons, catching it, drill. They're like, hey, do you want to do this? I was on my way out. This guy was really nice to me, a master sergeant, which is an E7. I didn't have rank in basic training. You don't get it until you graduate. Right. But I said, yeah, but you know, there's a lot of people interviewing. I don't think I'll get it. I heard 3 years, Washington, D.C., non-deployable. I instantly thought of all those times I played Call of Duties. I may have killed 20 people, but I died 7 times. I was like, all right, at least I'm not going to die for 3 years. I went in on that interview. I killed it. I was number 6 of 8 picks. So fast forward, basic training, right? I'm going to tech school. Everyone's happy. They're going to tech school. Basic training is over, and then everyone is slowly getting back their freedoms. I was picked for Air Force Honor Guard. Right, but mind you, at the time,
you're slowly getting back their freedoms. Like he was in the box, like you're in the hole in prison.
Absolutely. So
sorry.
now Air Force Honor Guard. Right, I get off the plane. There's 2 more instructors in Reagan National Airport in Washington D.C. just yelling at you, pick up your fucking bags, don't let them touch the ground, let's go. Now I'm like marching. I'm like looking over. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Then this kid shook. You can't really talk to people in the military how we're talking because because you got to understand that not everybody is from New York. You know, like we're different. So everyone else is shook, and I'm like, wait, should I be? I don't know. Like I know like the rank, but if this guy tries to fight me, I guess I could fight him. There's my mindset,
That's
my
how
mentality.
you're going.
You know, so joining, just getting yelled at, and I'm tired. I don't sleep. Like we get back onto the base, we dump all of our shit on the bag. Now we go to the BX commissary. We spend like $150 on irons, ironing boards. Now we got to go iron our stuff, keep it in uniform inspection. I'm talking to my other friends from basic training. Like we all got each other's cell phones. We didn't physically have our phones on us, so pen and paper, writing it down and making phone calls. Hey, what's going on, man? It's Fiori. Yo, tech school sucks, right? Then they're like, no way, man. Like we're all face, we're chilling, we're partying. I'm like, shit. I'm in another basic training right now. So I guess
for your specialty that for the honor guard.
Correct. The reason.
So you just left basic training, and now you're getting treated the same way and when you entered the other basic training.
Only I was thrown off guard by it because I thought I was gonna chill.
Yeah, this was gonna be smooth. Yeah.
I tried to get out of it.
Did you?
No. I tried to get out. Then you go up the chain, you know, and then they're like, hey, how about we send you to Home Air Force Base? I'm like, where is that? They're like, no, you could go home and be discharged. I'm like, no, that's not a good look. I can't go home. So obviously, like, once again, I go graduate, and then I kind of somewhat sort of have my life back. You know, I'm back in the gym, 6 months out the gym. Within a month, I get my appearance back. 2 to 3 months, I get my strength back. And now once again, I feel mentally grounded and in control.
Well, you find out real quick that you have that muscle memory.
Yes.
All right, so that muscle memory is huge. Mm-hmm. Your muscles are used to growing, being worked, being stressed. Mm-hmm. And, you know, everybody in the gym will think, if I take this week off, I'm gonna lose everything that I gained. It's not true. It's really not. It's a myth.
Yeah.
It's got to be an odd thing because you're active military. And you're trying to do competitive bodybuilding. Now, are you have your NPC card, or what kind of organization are you at? With
I was in the NGA first, you know.
Well, what's an NGA for those of us that don't know what NGA is?
So the NGA is the National Gym Association, right? So I was an athlete like for the NGA because that was the bodybuilding show that I picked, and then the venue was 30 minutes away.
Right.
Here's another thing that I didn't touch up on. Prior to the military, before I was doing bouncing, bodyguard, and private security, sometimes taking home $1,000 a week cash. Mm-hmm. When you first join the military, my paychecks on the 1st and 15th are looking like $600 to $700. I'm like, hey, where's the rest of my money? My God.
Yeah, this is tough.
So by me even competing, it's like, all right, I got to eat this chicken. And on base, chicken was $1.99 a pound. You're not going to eat a pound at a time, you know. So I was competing just to save money, you know. So the way that it worked was I would diet, I would go half retarded, and then 1 week before the show, I would just take leave for 5 days just so I could rest. But my job for that last week was, okay, go to the gym, eat, go to sleep.
And it becomes a lifestyle. But one of the things people don't realize about your particular chosen profession, and it's not your profession, your sport, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. The food alone will break you. And trying to do that on a military salary, that's where I'm trying to get to.
Right.
It's got to be next to impossible.
Right. It was difficult. It was it was more cost effective to eat chicken and then drink some extra virgin olive oil as opposed to going for the 99% fat-free lean ground beef, 99% fat-free turkey.
So wait a minute.
Salmon.
Wait. He just said drink olive oil?
Yes.
Good fats. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you watch Pumping Iron, which I'm sure you have,
right?
Have you ever seen Pumping Iron? So if you look at all the Arnold and his friends sitting together having a meal, do you know what they're eating? They're eating ground beef.
Right.
They're eating ground beef cooked almost like a meatloaf.
Right.
And that's all they're eating. They're not eating breads, potatoes.
No, I know all
they're
that.
Eating,
the high protein stuff.
That's all they're eating.
Right.
It's almost like the equivalent of what a keto diet.
Carnivorous. They were
carnivorous
animals.
Of course, they're carnivorous. But that's how you lived your life. Especially on back in those days, I think Mr. Olympia, the top prize was $1,000 when they went to Pretoria, South Africa. I mean, it wasn't much money.
So let's get to the meat and the potatoes here.
Potatoes, just meat.
The meats. Let's get to the meats. How did the women turn? So he gets in shape. He's going to get all these women. He finds out he does it for himself. But in the end, I understand you got a beautiful, attractive bodybuilding relationship. Or how is that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. You
So
know?
wait, you met her
On and
where?
off.
Cocoa? Because you told us earlier off camera, you're down in Cocoa Beach area.
Yeah, I met her there, and then I went to the Arnold Classic in 2016. She was working a booth. I gave her my number, and then she texted me, asked for coffee, hung out with her that
Coffee?
night.
That's you got to be something special because not only did you give her number, but about 50 other guys gave her their number as well. So you got to be something special.
Yeah, you got to think like that too, because like at the end of the day, right? I'm going through some shit. You're going through some shit. Nobody cares. Like we're all on our own. If a girl goes through some shit, she's got like 20 other dudes like right there. You know,
It always pisses me
Why
off.
is that the case?
Girls can do whatever they want to do.
The case?
Look, man, like I could post up a photo and then some knowledge and information, right? How many people are really going to go and like my shit on social media? Like 50?
Yeah.
You know, it's some girl, she goes through like a bad breakup, right? And then now she posts a picture from her back. She changes her Instagram name to Fitness. And then now you got all these people like, wow, I really admire your strength.
6,200.
You're the strongest person I know.
6,250 likes.
Yeah.
yeah. Isn't it amazing? A pair of boobs and a nice ass, and you get likes.
Right.
Surgery can happen.
I'm going to work on that. I want to get more likes.
Well, yeah, that's what you got to do.
I
You
need
got
to
to
get
become
more
an
likes.
influencer.
I'm going to.
Right. I'm just more the blunt type. I'll go up to someone. I'll say, "Yo, just so you know, nobody was actually really inspired by that picture that you posted."
Although I'm very interested in what's in the picture.
Like, look, I might talk to. This is an old saying: you can lead a horse to water, right? I might talk to 10 people a day. I maybe inspire you could inspire all 10, but how many actually follow through, right? 1 to 2, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But people are looking at you now and probably thinking you got all the answers, and I'm sure you're figuring it out every day.
absolutely.
That's the truth. So what was something you thought when you first got into the gym, 13, 14 years old, versus what you've learned now? What's changed?
Well, once again, just like your son saying, "Oh, how much can I bench? How much can I bench?" Once you hit a certain number and then it's decent, then you're still not. You don't have the appearance it is that you want, right? So it's like, all right, something else needs to change. You know, I get my diet down. Now I don't have the strength that I want. So you're never really going to get what you want unless you set like small, realistic goals and expectations. When I first started training, they told me, hey, give it 1 year and then you're going to be huge. I was like, all right. 1 year goes by. I'm not big. I was like, oh, maybe he meant 2 years. I didn't start looking some type of way.
That's when you started putting the T-shirts. He started using his T-shirts. I thought that was so fucking
that's a
cool.
good way of measuring it. Really is.
So cool.
I didn't start looking the way that I wanted to look until I was about 23. But then, you diet for 16 weeks and then you're just so burnt out. It's like, man, I don't want to eat fish or broccoli that, hey, I'm going to do whatever I want for a week. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat whatever I want, take a mini vacation. Then out of nowhere, I gained 20 to 30 pounds back.
Wow.
So then I knew next show, okay, like when I do it, I'm going to maintain for a little bit. I stayed lean 2 to 3 months after. So now it's just more about balance, right? If you talk to a judge and then you go up on stage for a judge, there's always going to be something wrong. There's always going to be something that you could do better. I think that if you set a small, realistic goal as to, okay, this is like what I want, this is how I'm happy, right? I'd hit my numbers on the bench already. Maybe your son just needs to do that just so he could see that, okay, hey, why am I not happy? Like, why am I not satisfied?
Well, I did something like that with him
Right.
recently. So he'll do, say, 25s on each side. But I when I bring him up after doing a couple sets, I used to put 2 10s and a 5. I said, now watch this. Because it's all mental. It's all a mental game.
Correct.
Even when you're dieting, it's a mental game. So I put 2 25-pound plates on the side. Do you know he did that easier than 2 10s and a 5? Same weight. Because it's all up here.
Yeah.
It's a big mental game. And
Right,
that's
right.
what people don't realize about bodybuilding. It's all mental.
So now, bring us to you. You're in the service. You do 3 years honor guard. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, did you enjoy that? And when you actually graduated and became an honor guard, did you enjoy that? And where was your best assignment that you were most interested in?
Absolutely. So from there, right?
Well, you're proud of it because I'm proud to be sitting next to him.
Yeah,
I'm proud to be
absolutely.
sitting next to a guy who finished boot camp, whatever you call, and then went into this training and became an honor guard because they show what we want our military to look like. I don't know how they
Yes.
act, but they
Yes.
present what
They're the face.
When I say to my child, my mother, my son, my friend, that's what we need to give, show. So go ahead, tell me
Absolutely. At the time, I didn't understand like why I was going through like what I was going through.
why they were abusing you again.
Yeah. Like I'm like, man, this is difficult, right? Getting phone calls 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, for this person right here, they actually got sick. Like you need to be in uniform right here. You got 30 minutes. All right. I'm like, man, it was supposed to be my day off. And then there was times like, hey, if you do the color guard, then you could do the Washington Redskins football game. I was like, that's on a Sunday. I'm not a Redskins fan. And they're playing this team.
Not the Redskins anymore.
Yeah, I know.
The Washington football team.
Right.
Whatever.
No, I think they got a new name. I forget what it is. Yeah.
Always be the Redskins.
Yeah, so
Pinkies.
I wasn't always as appreciative as I should have been because I was just living in
like that
anxiety. I was living in anxiety. I was on call 24 hours, right? You never knew. Like, I didn't have any rank. I didn't have any say. My supervisor, he was, looking back at it, all it was he just needed to grow as a leader. I didn't understand at the time. I'm like, man, this guy's a dick. You don't know how to talk. You don't, so he just needed to grow as a leader. And then in the gym, he would try to tell me how to work out. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, well, if you didn't like being told what to do, then you shouldn't have joined the military. I was like, are you going to tell me what kind of car it is I need to drive? So I didn't understand at the time. Looking back, yes, I do appreciate it. I was a body bearer. I carried caskets at an Arlington National Cemetery. I did 2-man flagpoles at the White House. I did dignified transfers at a Dover, Delaware, Dover Air Force Base. So right from there, that was carrying all the active duty debts, transferring,
Well, you never appreciate anything. How many lessons did you learn in the police academy that you, God, while you're going through it, it sucked. I mean, it sucked. Right. But when you get out, you're like, oh, I understand why they were having us do. Whether the rubber guns they used to make you carry to get used to it, you used to have to hold it. You used to have to hold it up for a long time, and your arms shaking and everything. Well, why are they making you do that? Because if you're ever in a real incident.
Right.
Well, I refer to the statement that he made to my fall from grace because I didn't appreciate at the time what I had. I didn't appreciate being a police officer because because it happened. You went to the military, it happened, But now, as a 35-year-old man looking back on his experience as an honor guard,
right?
You really, because now I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I'm sure you looking at the honor guard today and seeing the function that you were performing, but the visual of it, because you're not doing it,
correct,
really makes a big difference to you. Does it not?
Correct. And then once I came off active duty in 2017, I moved back to New York. I didn't know that they actually went and had a base honor guard in New York, so I did that for 2 years. Now, mind you, in New York, I'm a sergeant at the time, so staff sergeant. So I'm getting New York housing allowance and everything. I was like, wow, I'm taking home $6,000 a month right now. This is someone who started from $600 a paycheck, to years on in, and then I went from $3,000 a month on active duty to double my salary just to be home and then do this honor guard. So it all came into play. I was fully trained.
Wow.
So
there was a cherry on top of that.
But you got to look at what you did. Step back from it for a second for being that honor guard. So those families are going through something that's unbearable.
Correct.
Unbearable. You were there. You were the face of the military, like you said, Mike. And you gave them, okay, well, at least my son or daughter is being sent off with some dignity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's an important role.
It's the last thing that they see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's what's going to stick in their head. Okay, well, at least.
It's the last thing that we all see.
Right.
And for me, I have to say this, Dom, I appreciate that. And by the way, I didn't know. I looked on his Instagram. I saw Air Force, military. I forget what it was because we see so many different things while we looking. But to know now what that was, and for him to be able to reflect upon it and share it, that's pretty cool. I take that warmly. And appreciate and respect it. Thank you for that.
Well, how long you got left in the military?
I'll be retired in 7 years. I'll be eligible to retire in 7 years. I may ride it out.
You may ride it out.
A little bit longer, yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a young guy. 7 years, that's going to put you at 42.
Yeah.
And you're still gonna have your whole life ahead of you at 42.
A lot of life. But
unless you're Elvis, because Elvis died at 42.
Yeah, by the grace of God, you're going to have a lot of life. Yeah.
And you have any plans for post-retirement?
Are you setting yourself up in some either a business or?
I am, but at the same time, it's like anybody could go and make a plan, right? Like, hey, why don't you become a doctor? You'll make $400,000 a year, and then you could drive a Dodge Viper. But do I really want to do that?
Right.
Ultimately, like, I want to chase like what does make me happy, where I could like live stress free and be satisfied.
So you want to go to the Philippines and live on an island and get grapes and pump and fanned,
Be fed by the locals?
Be fanned and
7 years from now, my priorities may be very different.
Yeah,
You know, I may have a family. I may want like one of those jobs like that I just work from home. You know, like I couldn't tell you, but
But what are your aspirations like? Do you like the sea? You're in the Air Force.
Yes.
Do you maybe want to learn to fly? I mean, I don't know. Is there any aspirational thing?
No, so for me, what it is I do is like maybe every few years or so I'll cross train because the Air Force in general is just very broad, right? Like the military in general is very broad.
There's a million jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So like I just want a broader spectrum of like how each operation functions, you know. So I do eventually like want to pick a new career field, see a different side of it, pick another one, as many as I can, you know. Once I retire, I still want to be associated, possibly like a civilian contractor, maybe go to military bases.
Do they still call it
sell
Uncle
parts.
Sugar? Do they still call it Uncle Sugar?
Uncle Sugar.
The military,
Sugar.
yeah. My cousin was in the Air Force.
Okay.
And he used to say, Uncle Sugar's taking care of me. Just as he went on and on in the military career, and then they beg you to stay. They give you a stipend to please stay an extra 5 years or 3 years. They give you an extra bonus to stay.
Got you. So I personally haven't heard that term before, but at the same time, I'm an overthinker. I'm like, hey, if I re-enlist, you give me $30,000. Why? Can I do better for myself on the outside? And then you don't want to let me go? Is it going to cost you more to train someone? And Mike, like if things were like present day, the way that they were in the 90s, I would, you know, kind of like you, I would go in demand. Nah, because you're going to go hire someone else for this job. It costs you $200,000 to train him.
To get him to this level.
You're giving me $30,000. I want $120.
Yeah, right.
Well,
right,
you know,
yeah.
Things aren't that way.
Yeah.
The fitness portion of your life
Yes.
has been such a big portion. Do you see that carrying on after your retirement?
Absolutely. So there's people
Because it's a lifestyle. And
right. There's people who do what they do. They branch off. They start their businesses. They're like, all right, cool. I don't have to work out anymore. But like to me, I'm just like, hey, what happened to liking it? You know. So it just so happens that the military, the working out, the sports, going to school, it just fits my lifestyle, and I manage it.
Well, it's a regimented lifestyle.
Yes.
And I think, you know, we all could use a little bit more regimentation. I try to keep it as regimented as possible, although my life seems to get thrown into chaos.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Organized.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos. It's like traffic.
Yeah. But it's so how could obviously your body's going to change as you get older. Mike and I can attest that as you get older, you just can't keep up the same level anymore.
Correct.
How do you see that changing?
How do I see that training? Changing. As you get older, you got to train smarter. You don't got to train harder. Harder isn't always good, right? So you could bench 400 pounds. You don't look a certain type of way. You bench 225 for 20 reps. Now you have the appearance, but also your tendons and ligaments are kept better. You know,
Are you a licensed trainer, or can you be a licensed trainer, or would you do something like that, or are you just not interested in that kind of?
I mean, I'm certified through ISSA, Master Trainer. I'm certified through NASM.
So you already have that sort of
Yes.
certification. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
So you could maybe side hustle and
Absolutely.
train.
Or while you're figuring stuff out.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
while
right.
you're figuring
Absolutely.
stuff out, you can always
Do you ever think of owning a gym? Because I mean, you enjoy it.
Don't.
Obviously.
Don't.
All right, so
Don't ever own a gym.
Yeah.
Bad business.
Something like that. I actually have thought of. I thought of owning a gym. I thought of being a badass trainer. I thought about doing all this. But the thing is, right? Someone comes up to me, says, like, different people have different goals, right? So you go, you buy a house, you sell it. I buy a house, I rent it out. It falls under real estate. The gym, like, I love like building muscle. You know, everyone else. Someone might be like, you know, you're walking on a treadmill next to them for like 30 minutes. Yeah, the doctor said if I don't work out, I'm gonna die soon. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you know, I would have taken a hint when the scale said 300 pounds.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
Well, my wife's a personal trainer. This is where I
Right.
go with this. My wife is a personal trainer, and when I did personal training for a short period of time, but I wanted to train everybody like I trained.
Yes.
That doesn't work.
Correct.
That doesn't work. People want a coach. They want a friend. They want somebody to talk their way through it to make the time a little
Someone
bit
to
more
hold their
palatable.
glutes. Someone to hold their glutes.
That's for you, Mike.
Someone to hold their glutes while they're doing a squat or something like that.
Exactly. So it's not training is not. You're looking for longevity.
I'm a glute guy.
Yes.
Even though my glutes need some work. Lots of work.
We're going to end this show in a couple minutes. We could work on that.
Come on now. My knees are bad. I can't squat like I used to. My knees are bad.
But that's so it becomes a lifestyle, and you carry it with you when it gets in your blood. Like the military is in your blood. When training gets in your blood, when police work gets in your blood, you're going to stop those one day. To the extent that you're doing now, but it's never going to leave you.
Exactly.
One day your military career is going to have an expiration date.
Exactly. And then just like with everything going on in life, like career focus, hey, I need to go and train myself. It's like to go and really like work with other people, it just consumes so much energy. And just to touch upon what you said, you're not just a trainer, you're a friend, you're a social support network. You get crazy text messages, like life coach. You get crazy text messages.
You get
like
guys hitting you up on Instagram. They want to know what the hell. Why didn't you answer me?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Then I end up dating their girlfriend.
Yeah. Comes with it.
Well, so what's in the immediate future? Are you doing any shows? Any shows coming up?
Probably in the immediate future. I would never go into a show, not because I'm not physically ready, but I need to be mentally ready. So I'd say like within a year. I'll pick something.
But right now you're doing, if you don't mind us saying, you're working with the government, right?
Correct.
With the military service, and
Correct.
you're working. I don't know if you're aware. You're doing.
So Air Force on the guard, Intel, security forces for a little bit, and once again activated on a COVID mission, New York state of emergency. I ran a vaccination site for a year. Now there's staff shortages, so I'm in a nursing home. My life is just go to the point where I feel as if I cannot put 100% concentration into a bodybuilding show. A bodybuilding show to me, I personally go and I find my own victories. All right, I came in the best shape of my life. I smiled. My friends and family saw me, and I actually went and united some people. Right? Forget the trophy, first place, second place. It's a $5 trophy. You need to find your own
plastic
victories,
trophy,
Right.
Some people like cars, some people like trucks, some people like red, some people like yellow, some people like Italian girls, some people like Spanish girls. You got to ultimately go and find your own victories and like learn gratitude.
I like them all. Just
Yeah, but
At the mic down.
but just
kidding, honey.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to.
Kidding, honey.
yeah. But just life in general is just crazy to where I still like live the lifestyle. I still like make positive decisions in my eating. I still train, to the best of my abilities. That like if I go and then I go into a bodybuilding show, I'm very competitive. So I just go all in, and then I get so absorbed with it that I'm just not ready to be absorbed with it just yet.
So where can we find you? Where can our audience find you?
So I can be found on Instagram. My Instagram name, Diesel Dom. That was my nickname in high school. Diesel Dom 2.0 _ Mr. New York. YAWK. Mr. New York happened like when I was stationed down south in the military. And
Yeah, because she asked for coffee and stuff.
Coffee.
Yeah. We're from New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Of course, you're at the real Mike or the Mike Dowd.
I am real, but
You
I'm
are
not
real.
The Mike Dowd.
I'm real.
You're
so
the real,
I'm real Kevin
but
Donaldson.
I'm the Mike Dowd.
And of course, true John Elite. Dom, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us because there's a lot of different aspects, but we're going to have you back in 7 years so you can tell us all the stuff that you can't tell us now.
Yep. I got you.
Yeah, really.
got you.
I will end it as we end this on a note. He said there's several things he can't talk about because of his professional career, and we'll just leave it like that for now. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of The Elite Show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like. The Mob, the Mafia, and the Man, and we'll see you next time.